Hey, welcome to our episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. If you want to get a shirt like me, link in the description below, or the tab below, or I don't know. It's somewhere down there. Anyway, doing a throwback beer tonight. If you've been watching me since the early days, you might remember this. This used to be a highly sought after chase beer back in the early days of the show. This is none other than Southern Tier Brewing Company Crème Brûlée Imperial Stout, 10% ABV, part of their Blackwater series. It says best before October 10th of this year. So is that a year out or 2 years out? Yeah, so I mean, basically this is creme brulee in a bottle. Speaking of which, I open the bottle, pour it into my brand new Chad's Beer Reviews Nonic pint glass laser etch. By the way, if you want to get one of these yourself, link in the description below. And it is a kind of a dark brown, gets a big, I call it kind of a light brown, tan, foamy, frothy head. It does take a while to settle down, but we got a nice thumb or finger width remaining. Let's give this thing a whiff. I will say it smells exactly as advertised. This does smell like creme brulee. I don't know how they can replicate that custard character so well. I mean, obviously there's lactose sugar in here, but there's got to be more to it than that. Well, I know that they use vanilla beans, so I mean that would account for it. But still, there's going to be that 𝗕𝗘𝗥𝓏𝓲𝓷 factor of, the actual scorched sugar. So I don't know how they replicate that. There's almost like a little bit of like a rum or a cinnamon kind of note, like almost something spicy. Maybe that's just the alcohol. Yeah, so I mean, it smells very sweet, vanilla. I wouldn't really say chocolate. It's just like, I mean, if you ever had creme brulee, that's what this smells like, and hopefully that's what it will taste like. Cheers. Yeah, so somewhere up here, I'll put a clip of the early days of the show when I was saying, this is a delicious beer, but it's like really cloying. I will say, not much has changed in the last 10 or 15 years, however long it's been since I've had this. Actually, I've had this a few times because they keep, they shelve this and they bring it out every couple years. And I just remember back in the early days being like, this does taste like creme brulee, but it's like super sweet. It was like sickly sweet. I will say it is not sickly sweet this time around. It's sweet, yes. I would say Bourbon County is much sweeter than this, even though they actually add vanilla to this. And probably, lactose sugar and probably other sugars to, boost that ABV up. It's sweet. It's not cloying. I wouldn't even say it's really close to cloying. It's just a little, oddly enough, it's actually kind of boozy. I would say this is actually more boozy than the 14.7 Bourbon County Rich and I did a few days ago. So check that one out. So even though there's no fruity additives in this one, I do get a little bit of like a cherry character. I would assume that's just off the, use of the dark malts. It's almost like an essence impression of like a cherry puree. I mean, it's very, kind of subtle, but otherwise, I mean, it's mostly vanilla forward, the custard flavor forward. They might be adding just some, extract or natural flavoring or whatever to replicate that kind of burnt custard flavor. I will say it doesn't taste burnt, It doesn't really taste roasty either, which, I mean, I guess that's pretty normal. But I get like a bit of a medicinal flavor, which again would probably be hearkening back to that kind of cherry note that I mentioned a minute ago. So it does have like a bit of a cough syrup, Robitussin kind of thing going. It's got a bit of bitterness to it. Untapped has this at 55 IBUs, which it kind of seems high for like a pastry beer. But again, it is 10% ABV, so you're going to definitely need some hops to balance it out so it's not super cloying, sickly sweet. Yeah, so this is... I think my impression of this now is basically the same as all those years ago. It's good, it's tasty, to me it's a little overboard, and it's a little kind of simple and repetitive. I always like the chocolate and like the mocha and some other like this was. I would say that this is probably my least favorite of the Blackwater series lineup. But hopefully they bring back the other ones. And for 10% ABV, you would think like this would be like really big. It is not. This is, I'd say this is like medium body tops, maybe medium full, maybe. I would say it is very smooth. Not quite creamy, but yeah, very, very smooth. So it's like brown sugar, cherry, vanilla. They should actually do a cherry, variant or something like that. So I think I give this like a 7 back in the day. I think it's a little bit better than that now, but not by much. I'll probably go like 7.5 for the Creme Brûlée. I would like I think they could tone the alcohol down. I don't think you need the full 10%. Get it to like a more, like, if they're using sugars to boost ABV, get rid of those sugars. Just go off the malt ABV. All right, so I am rambling. If you watch all the way in, you are awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys for Tuesday Night Beer School. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.